Chapter 391, Yun Chujio woke up, sigh, this gigolo is such a pitiful person. Furry sighed as it weaved its vest. He's pitiful. No matter how pitiful he is he as pitiful as our master? Sob sob, we don't know if our master will wake up, the rolling pin whimpered. Furry glanced at Yun Chujio who was floating above the main body of the great void mirror and sighed. Yes, it has been almost a month, and master still hasn't woken up. However, master's dantian has almost been repaired by the strange grass, so she should be waking up soon. I'm suffocating here. The rolling pin said disdainfully, why didn't you suffocate for tens of thousands of years before? It's only been a month, and you're already suffocating to death. That's because I've never seen the outside world before. Without comparison, there's no way to know. While the two of them were talking, Yun Chujio, who was floating above the main body of the great void mirror, was suddenly enveloped by a small purple lightning bolt. She kept making crackling sounds. Every day, our master would be struck by these small lightning bolts. Only our master's body is abnormal. If it was an ordinary person, he would have been turned into ashes long ago. Furry recalled that it actually wanted to use lightning to strike Yun Chujio to death back then, and it felt really stupid. As soon as Furry finished speaking, Yun Chujio suddenly opened her eyes. Her pupils actually turned purple, and after a moment, they returned back to black. Yun Chujio seemed to be a little confused. Before she could react, she was violently thrown to the ground by a huge force, and it hit the muttering Furry. Oh my! I'm being killed. Ah, master. Master, you're awake. That's great. The ball of yarn cried out happily as it protected Yun Chujio's arms with its two short claws. Yun Chujio sighed. Ball of yarn, can you remove the vest on my face first? My beautiful long eyelashes are covered. The ball of yarn pulled off the newly woven vest swiftly. Master, are you completely recovered? Is your dantian okay? Yun Chujio nodded and stood up to look around. Am I in the Great Void's mystic realm? Didn't you say that I can't enter for the time being? Yes. Normally, you can't enter. When your dantian was about to explode, I don't know what happened to the strange grass in my main body, but you were able to enter. Moreover, the heavenly thunder and the people outside didn't notice us at all. Your gigolo is outside now. He mumbles every day and I've almost memorized his words. Furry curled its lips. Furry could see the situation outside, but Yun Chujio could not. She asked curiously, what did the gigolo say? How long have I been in a coma? Almost a month. The gigolo's words are so mushy. Master, let me imitate for you. The hairball put on its newly completed vest and imitated de-beaming. Little Joe, I won't call you Black Thing anymore. Come back quickly. From now on, my things are yours. I don't care what you want anymore. Don't you like drawing? As long as you come back, you can draw as much as you want. As long as you come back, I'll sing you a lullaby every day from now on. If you get tired of that song, I'll go learn a few new ones. Yun Chujio looked at the comical appearance of the ball of yarn. At first, she could not help but laugh. Then, her nose gradually turned sour. The gigolo has a proud personality, so for him to be able to say these words, it seems that he really loves me to death. Why should I be proud of myself? Why do I feel like crying? Chapter 392, How do I get out of here, Furry, tell me everything you saw. Yun Chujio sniffed and took out a meat bun to eat. It was not that she was heartless. She had not eaten in a month, so she was starving. If she did not eat something, she would probably faint from hunger. Furry wiped its saliva. Master, can you feed me something first, and then I'll talk about it? I wouldn't be able to explain well if I'm starving, right? Little Silver Dragon also flew out from the rolling pin. Master, I want a bun too. Furry swallowed 5 big buns before it began to ramble. Master, the gigolo kept calling your name countless times. It's really like the cuckoo, who after its tears were exhausted, kept weeping blood. 1. I was very touched when I heard it. He used his claws. I mean hands to dig at the soil for an entire day and night. TSK, even when his fingernails were gone, he was still digging at the soil. Later on, thankfully Old Man Chu was smart because he said that you definitely weren't dead since they couldn't find a body. The gigolo's condition improved then. However, he still sits by the pit every day and mutters the same words of things he has learned from you over and over again. It's night outside right now and he's still sitting by the pit and talking to himself. Master, I think if you don't go out now, he will probably become a lunatic. What? How can we get out? Yun Chujio wiped her tears with her sleeve and asked anxiously. Master, how did you get in? I don't even know that, let alone how to get you out. You'd better ask Strange Grass and my main body. Yun Chujio quickly injected her spiritual sense into her dantian. She could not help but be surprised that the green and shiny leaves he Strange Grass had become dim. Did your leaves become like this because you saved me? Strange Grass shook its leaves proudly, answering Yun Chujio's question. Yun Chujio realized that the Great Void Mirror, which originally occupied half of her dantian, had disappeared. This was normal, because the real body of the Great Void Mirror was now in the mystic realm. Naturally, it had left her dantian. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. She reckoned that she would only be ejected out of the mystic realm if she let the Great Void Mirror enter her dantian again. Yun Chujio comforted the Strange Grass for a while before she withdrew from her spiritual sense and looked at the main body of the Great Void Mirror. Little mirror, thank you for saving me. Now that I'm awake, you can enter my dantian again and let me out. Yun Chujio said with a smile. The huge main body of the Great Void Mirror did not have any reaction. Yun Chujio said a bunch of nice things, but was still no reaction. Yun Chujio was furious. Oh my god. Fuck. Damn it, little mirror. Let me out. I want to go out and see my gigolo. If the gigolo is too devastated, it'll smash you into pieces. Furry said weakly, Master, try what you did last time. Drop the blood in the heart of the lotus flower. Yun Chujio recalled what happened last time and could not help but feel a lingering fear. Last time, after I dropped my blood, it almost sucked me dry and into a mummy. Wouldn't it happen again? But Master, if you don't do that, you won't be able to get out. Furry spread out its 2 small claws and said helplessly. Yun Chujio gritted her teeth. She had no choice. Hence, she bit her index finger and dropped her blood into the heart of the lotus flower on the Great Void Mirror. Fortunately, nothing like what happened last time happened. With a flash of white light, the Great Void Mirror suddenly shrunk and hid between Yun Chujio's brows. Yun Chujio felt a wave of dizziness. Chapter 393, Becoming a Master. D. Biming sat by the pit as usual. Little Joe, where are you? As long as you come back safely, I'll listen to you from now on. I'll never yell at you again, and I'll never call you Black Thing again. Prince Charming, I heard everything. You're not allowed to go back on your words. D. Biming was stunned, and then he asked in disbelief while slightly trembling, Black. Little Joe, is that you? Little Joe, where are you? I'm here. I'm here. I'm in the pit below. Quickly come down and carry me up. D. Biming stood up and pinched himself. It was not an illusion, it was real. Black Thing really was not dead. She was really back. Before D. Biming jumped into the pit as a figure flew up from the chopping board, Prince Charming, what are you doing? Come on, give me a kiss. D. Biming was caught off guard and fell to the ground. Then, he was kissed by Yun Chujio. Di Biming was so happy that he almost fainted. The black thing was really not dead. She was still alive. She was still alive. That was great. Anfeng could not bear to look at them. He took the initiative to run 2 miles away to stand guard for the two of them. Is it really good for the two of you to torture me like this? It's really too immoral. The two of them lingered for a long while. Di Biming held Yun Chuzhou tightly in his arms. He felt that everything was like a dream. He did not even dare to close his eyes, afraid that if he opened them again, everything would be shattered. Yun Chuzhou looked at the haggard Di Biming, and her heart felt very bitter. She smiled and pointed at the moon and said, "Prince Charming, look at the moon in the sky. I hope that we'll be together for a long time. In the future, even if I'm not by your side, we'll still live under the same sky. You have to believe that I'll definitely live. I won't die so easily. Next time, don't torture yourself like this, understand?" Di Biming nodded. "As long as you're alive, it's fine. Whatever you say is fine." Yun Chuzhou felt that he was probably physically deprived. Otherwise, why would this previously cold gigolo be so submissive? She found it very strange. "Prince Charming, let's go back to Spirit Radiance sect. My brothers and sisters must be very worried about me." Di Biming nodded and took out his flying spirit tool. After the two of them went up, they headed in the direction of Spirit Radiance sect. Anfeng was in a mess. This was too much. "It's fine if the two of you were abusing me, but you can't just leave me alone." Anfeng had no choice but to take out his flying spirit tool and tail them. In the first few days, Di Biming was like a 24 filial exemplars, one, boyfriend. No matter what Yun Chuzhou asked, he would satisfy all of them. Yun Chuzhou had never known what it meant to be reserved. She had cheated Di Biming of countless spirit stones and food. Then, she asked Di Biming to massage her legs and shoulders. Singing a lullaby was a trivial matter. Yun Chuzhou was a little too proud. She leaned on the recliner and ate the spirit fruits that Di Biming had cut into small pieces. Then, she took out the stack of notebooks that she had bought earlier and took a liking to them. Di Biming did not pay much attention to them at the beginning. When he saw the words on the cover of the books, he immediately exploded. "Me and my 3,000 beautiful male cultivation furnaces, my 81 male pets, my beautiful male harem. Black thing. You're actually reading such books. Are you trying to be rebellious? What does this mean? It's not enough for you to have me, but you actually want to find someone else." Yun Chuzhou was so scared that she jumped down from the recliner and said guiltily, "I'm just looking to relieve my boredom. I don't have any other intentions. My Prince Charming, I was really just looking." She responded reflexively and had totally forgotten that she had become the master. Chapter 394, Two Troublesome Ancestors, You Had No Other Intentions. 3,000 cultivation furnaces. 81 male lovers. Beautiful male harem. No other intentions. Black thing, you've disappointed me too much. I'll destroy all these books now, and I will not allow you to read these nonsense anymore. Di Biming picked up the stack of books and was about to destroy it. Yun Chuzhou quickly hugged Di Biming's arm and snatched the book from his hand. "Prince Charming, stop. Show me mercy. Stop." Di Biming saw Yun Chuzhou trying to snatch it and became even angrier. He swung his arm and pushed Yun Chuzhou away. In the blink of an eye, the stack of books turned into ashes. Yun Chuzhou was pushed to the ground and was stunned at first. Then, she also became angry. "What's wrong with me just reading them? Does it mean that I will do it? Brother Wuji said that you're choosing a consort. Then did you choose one? And how dare you push me? Didn't you say that you would listen to me no matter what? What nonsense are you talking about?" Di Biming initially felt a little guilty when he saw Yun Chuzhou fall. However, when he heard Yun Chuzhou say that, he was so angry that he trembled. Good, very good. Black thing, you're just twisting logic. Just because I said I'll do as you desire doesn't mean that I have to watch you two-timing me. Am two-timing you? Who am I two-timing on you with? You're the one who's petty. How dare you accuse me? You have to compensate me for my books. Otherwise, we're done. Yun Chujia's little face was red with anger. This gigolo is really too overbearing. If he didn't want me to read it, he could have just said it properly. Why did he destroy my books? Compensate you for your books? You're delusional. I want to see how you're going to end things with me. Di Biming snorted coldly. He felt that Yun Chuzhou was simply unreasonable. It's clearly her fault. She was reading those dirty books and yet she thinks it's reasonable. That's really disappointing. Fine. You're not going to compensate me, are you? Open the hatch and I'll go back to Spirit Radiance sect myself. I can't be bothered with you. Yun Chuzhou said angrily. Yun Chuzhou thought that if she said that, Di Biming would definitely give in. Who would have thought that a certain someone with an extremely low EQ actually opened the hatch? Yun Chuzhou was so angry that she almost hit the wall. There was no way out, so she could only take out the chopping board. She pretended to sit on the chopping board and shouted, HMPH. My open-air chopping board is much better than your broken flying spiritual tool. Don't try to follow me if you can. Di Biming was so angry that his eyes were red. Follow you? I would only follow you if I was crazy. Di Biming's flying spirit tool turned around and flew away quickly. Soon, only a little black dot could be seen. And Feng, who was following behind, was dumbfounded. What happened? Why didn't Miss Jiu get on the flying spirit tool, and instead, went on the chopping board? And Feng poked his head out from the flying spirit tool and asked, Miss Jiu, where did our honored one go? Yun Chuzhou said angrily, he went back to choose his consort. Don't follow me, go find that arrogant, arbitrary, and untrustworthy gigolo of yours. After saying that, Yun Chuzhou commanded the chopping board to fly away quickly. And Feng felt tens of thousands of divine beasts whizzing past his heart. Your Majesty. Who was the one crying and shouting a few days ago, saying that as long as Miss Jiu returned, everything would go according to her wishes? How can you be angered in just a few days? Moreover, even if you had a conflict, we can't just abandon Miss Jiu, right? Your Majesty, it's not that I'm criticizing you, but with your EQ, you'll never be able to marry a wife in your lifetime. Also, Miss Jiu, you can't be this nonchalant. Our Excellency almost went crazy for you a few days ago. Can't you just go along with him a little? Wouldn't it have been fine the way it was before? As long as we go along with him, everything can be discussed, but why do you just have to go against him? These two ancestors are too troublesome. What should I do now? And Feng thought for a moment and decided to follow Yun Chuzhou. After all, my mission is to protect Miss Jiu. Perhaps your Excellency will come back on his own after his anger has subsided. Miss Jiu, I'll send you back to Spirit Radiance sect. Although your chopping board isn't slow, it's windy and rainy. It's more convenient with this flying spirit tool, right? And Feng caught up with Yun Chuzhou and said ingratiatingly. Chapter 395, The Proud Supreme Emperor, So what if it's windy or rainy? I'll use my spiritual energy barrier. Anyway, I have a lot of spiritual artifacts on me. Yun Chuzhou said angrily. And Feng choked. Just as he was about to continue to persuade her, Yun Chuzhou said, however, since you're so sincere, I'll reluctantly sit on your flying spirit tool. And Feng was speechless. After Yun Chuzhou got on the flying spirit tool, and Feng asked tentatively, Miss Jiu, did you quarrel with our honorable lord? He's obviously the one who is looking for trouble. Otherwise, why would a reasonable person like me quarrel with him? He actually destroyed my books and even pushed me down. He's really unreasonable. Yun Chujio said angrily. And Feng cursed in his heart when he heard that. He knew that her words would cause trouble sooner or later. With their lord's temper, it would be strange if he was not angry. However, he was indeed a little rough. Ahem. Miss Jiu, you know our lord's temper. He's angry because he cares about you. When we didn't whether you were dead or alive, our lord almost committed suicide to die for love. Our lord treated you sincerely, so please bear with him. Anfeng said cautiously. That's one thing, but what happened today was his fault. He dared to push me, so maybe he'll domestically abuse me in the future. Besides, I was the one who coaxed him before, so why can't he coax me? Nitpicky, unfriendly, arrogant, and shameless. Yun Chujio said with her cheeks puffed up. Anfeng secretly ticked nitpicky, unfriendly, and arrogant in his heart. What she said was absolutely right. Their revered one was the famous nitpicky person in the Tianyuan continent. Yun Chujio's anger came and went quickly. After cursing the gigolo more than 100 times in her heart, she had a little bit of regret. Although the gigolo gave her a lot of problems, he was sincere to her. Besides, the books she read were indeed not very elegant. However, this tsundere had issues too. He left without her and lacked discipline. She did not believe that he would not come back and apologize to her. Humph. On the other side, Di Biming flew dozens of miles away in anger. After he calmed down, he also felt a little regretful. However, he felt that her words were wrong. Why should he go back and apologize? After thinking for a while, he was still worried, so he took out the voice transmission talisman for Anfeng. Anfeng, follow Black Thing secretly. He'll go back to the Tianyuan continent to deal with things. After receiving Di Biming's voice transmission talisman, Anfeng could not help but twitch his lips. He was worried about Miss Jiu, so why did he not send her a voice transmission talisman directly? No wonder Miss Jiu said that His Majesty was arrogant. He really was arrogant. Yun Chujio had never mistreated herself. Love was only a part of life, not everything. She would never punish herself for the mistakes of the gigolo. She should eat, drink, and draw with charcoal when she had nothing to do. Anfeng glanced at it unintentionally and immediately staggered in fright. Oh my God! The Miss Jiu actually drew His Majesty. Cough cough. Naked. Anfeng, where are we now? Yun Chujio asked casually after she finished drawing. Miss Jiu, below is Changsha City, Anfeng said as he looked at the map. Yun Chujio's eyes flashed. Changsha City. If I remember correctly, Spirit Radiance Sect is to the east of Changsha City, and the Heavenly Gates Sect is to the west of Spirit Radiance Sect. If it weren't for them causing trouble for nothing, I wouldn't have been struck by lightning and wouldn't have quarreled with Gigolo. Anfeng, turn around. Let's go to Heavenly Gates Sect. Chapter 396, We're going to borrow something, Miss Jiu, why are we going to the Heavenly Gates Sect? They're one of the 4 great sections. Not to mention that there's only 2 of us, even if there were 10 of us, we wouldn't be able to defeat them. Anfeng's face was filled with despair. Miss Jiu, please stop. That fire dragon from before almost took my life. We're not going to fight. What's there to be afraid of? Not going to fight. Then what are we going to do? Are we going to scold people? Miss Jiu, we can't just scold people. If we anger the Heavenly Gates Sect, we'll still end up fighting. Anfeng was very confident about Yun Chujio's ability to cause trouble. He believed it without a doubt. Even the Heavenly Thunder could be angered by her, not to mention the people from the Heavenly Gates Sect. Why do you want to scold them? Let's go to the Heavenly Gates Sect to get something good. Yun Chujio smiled like a little fox, akin to foxes with 9 tails. Get something. Get what? Anfeng curled his lips. She said it nicely, but I'm sure she meant to steal something. You'll know when the time comes. When we're almost there, we don't need to use the flying spirit tool. Well, walk over to avoid attracting attention, Yun Chujio said slyly. Anfeng could only agree with a bitter face. God, please bless me. I hope I won't lose my life. No matter how I think about it, I feel that Miss Jiu is going to cause a big trouble. Anfeng, change into this set of clothes. Yun Chujio handed Anfeng a set of clothes for the disciples of the Heavenly Gate sect. She also changed into a set of clothes and groomed her hair into a man's hairstyle. The effect of the hair growth pill from the gigolo was pretty good. Her newly grown hair was black and shiny. Miss Jiu, where did you get this set of clothes? Anfeng asked curiously. They were in the storage bags that we robbed. Don't worry, these 2 sets are new and no one has worn them before. Yun Chujio took out a layout map of the Heavenly Gate sect, pointed at one of the locations, and said, this is our target. If there is no one above the 5th level of the Spirit Emperor realm, well, use the concealment talisman to go in. If there are those above that level, you'll be responsible for drawing them away. I'll use the concealment talisman to go in. Anfeng looked at the layout map and cursed in his heart. This was definitely spoils of war. Anfeng saw where Yun Chujio was pointing and could not help but ask curiously, Miss Jiu, why are we going to the back mountain of the Heavenly Gate sect? Are there any treasures there? Humph. Doesn't the Heavenly Gate sect always think that they're awesome because they have earth fire? I will go and kidnap their fire spirit beast and see how arrogant they will be in the future. When the time comes, if they want to buy my earth fire, I'll exploit them as much as I can. Yun Chujio said proudly. Anfeng was stunned at first, then he lit a candle for the Heavenly Gate sect members. The sect had offended Miss Jiu, so it seemed like they were going to pay for it. With her around, sooner or later, the Heavenly Gate sect would become poor. Anfeng did not doubt whether Yun Chujio could successfully kidnap the fire spirit beast. The answer was obvious. She could successfully kidnap all 8 of them, so one would be easy. The 2 of them found a quiet place and got off the flying spirit tool. They did not use the concealment talisman. Based on their spiritual power level, it was not a problem for them to avoid the patrols outside the Heavenly Gate sect. Even if they were discovered, it would be easy for them to hide because they were wearing the sect's uniform. After all, Heavenly Gate sect had tens of thousands of people. It was impossible for them to know each other. The 2 of them successfully arrived at the back of the mountain. As expected, the temperature started to rise. From afar, they could see many disciples patrolling. The 2 of them stuck on the concealment talismans and carefully approached Heavenly Gate sect's earth fire cave. Chapter 397, The Fire Spirit Beast That Ran Away from Home. Brothers, after this round of inspection, let's go back and rest. This earth fire cave can fucking roast a person to death. Other than the elders who regularly come to retrieve the earth fire, who can withstand the high temperature inside? That's right. The sect wants us to patrol once every half an hour. It's simply a waste of manpower. Who can steal the earth fire? I heard that we developed bad blood with Spirit Radiance sect recently. Our sect leader has already cut off their earth fire supply. Who knows? Maybe Spirit Radiance sect's people will come and steal the fire spirit beast. Ha! Senior Brother Lu, don't joke around. Forget about whether they can sneak into the earth fire cave under our noses. Even if they can, the cave is filled with earth fire, so they can't go too far in. Moreover, our sect hasn't seen the true appearance of that fire spirit beast for so many years. It's useless for them to come. That makes sense. TSK, Spirit Radiance sect is really stubborn. They didn't agree to our conditions. Humph. They can't hold on much longer. I heard that they recently bought some earth fire from the Bixiao Palace and the Immortal Sword sect. Our sect master was extremely dissatisfied, so he went to Spirit Radiance sect today. I heard that the sect masters of the two other sects will also be there. When the time comes, our sect master will definitely pressure the other two sects and not let them sell the earth fire to Spirit Radiance sect. At that time, we won't be afraid that Spirit Radiance sect won't comply. The patrolling people casually chatted while pretending to patrol the area. Then, they returned to the shelter that they built to drink and play cards. Yun Chuzhou and Enfeng exchanged a look, and the two of them quickly entered the underground fire cave. After walking for a while, a sea of fire appeared in front of them. However, this sea of fire was much smaller than the one in the fire cave. With that being said, this underground fire cave was relatively narrow. Although it was small, the distance was long, so it was still difficult for people to pass through. Enfeng took out the isolation array plate and activated the isolation array. After that, Yun Chuzhou released an adult fire spirit beast. Number 3, go and catch that prodigal old man who ran away from home. The fire spirit beast squeaked and jumped into the sea of fire with a whoosh. Number 3. Miss Zhou's naming skills isn't as good as before. However, what did the prodigal old man mean? Before Enfeng could ask, Yun Chuzhou took the initiative to explain. The fire spirit beast of Heavenly Gates sect wanted to run away from home after a quarrel with number 3. However, it was caught by the sect. Oh right, number 3 is female, while the one from the sect is male. He's as arrogant as a gigolo. Humph. Enfeng shrunk his neck and did not dare to make a sound. He cursed in his heart, Miss Zhou, while you're scolding our lord, you seem to be talking about yourself too. He did not know how the two beasts communicated with each other. After 15 minutes, number 3 came out of the sea of fire with a fire spirit beast. It was slightly bigger than number 3, and its fur was even more colorful. However, at that moment, it was drooping its head. Number 3 kept slapping its head with its claws. Yun Chuzhou coughed dryly, number 3. You should really be gentler. If you're so violent, you might slap it away and make it run away from home again. Number 3 seemed to be a little embarrassed after hearing Yun Chuzhou's words, and she finally stopped attacking the beast with her claws. Number 4, your wife and clansmen have signed an equal contract with me now. Are you going to sign it or not? Yun Chuzhou asked with a smile. Enfeng pursed his lips. You've already given it a name, yet you're still pretending to ask it if it's going to sign it. Aren't you being too hypocritical? Number 4 was just hesitating when number 3's claw arrived. Damn it! What are you still hesitating for? You son of a bitch who abandoned his wife. If you don't recognize her as your master, he'll slap you to death. Of course, Yun Chuzhou understood what happened on her own. After all, number 3 was only making a move and did not say anything. Chapter 398, There were too many bad things. Number 4 had been a single beast for thousands of years. Now, he was willing to endure number 3's domestic violence and was eager to acknowledge her as his master. We can't do the acknowledgement now. I'm afraid that if we make too much of a commotion, we'll attract heavenly thunder and be in trouble. Go into the spirit beast pouch first. We'll do it when we return to Spirit Radiance sect. Yun Chuzhou said after thinking for a moment. Fire spirit beast number 1, 2, and 3 were all dumbfounded. Master, didn't you say that only spirit beasts that acknowledge their master can enter the spirit beast pouch? You lied to us. You're such a bad silver. However, the raw rice has already been cooked. Moreover, we've eaten our fill every day. So be it if you want to lie to us. Sob, this black-hearted master. As for the 5 small ones, they did not have any objections. They ate well and played well. Who cares if they lied to us or not? When they heard that the Spirit Radiance sect was even more fun, they were just waiting to go have fun. Number 3, do you fire spirit beasts have any way to quickly extinguish the earth fire? Yun Chujio looked at the earth fire that was burning fiercely. She rolled her eyes and evil thoughts rose up in her mind. Who told you Heavenly Gate sect to show off? It'll cut off your roots in an instant and leave you with no earth fire to use. Number 3 nodded. Master, after we form a seal, we can quickly extinguish the earth fire. Yun Chujio touched her chin. Let's do it right away. It'll give you more food in a while. Extinguish all the earth fire. Don't leave a single piece. Number 3 squeaked a few times, and the 4 big fire spirit beasts began to stand up and form a seal with their 2 front claws. The earth fire began to visibly extinguish. After a quarter of an hour, the huge sea of earth fire was completely extinguished. Yun Chujio put the fire spirit beasts into her spirit beast pouch in satisfaction and waved her hand at Enfong. It's done. Let's go. Back to Spirit Radiance sect. It just so happens that those old bitches from Heavenly Gate sect are also here, so I'll go scam them. Enfong silently made a decision in his heart. Even if he had to offend His Majesty, he must never offend Miss Jio. She had too many schemes. One could imagine how the people of the Heavenly Gate sect would be furious when they discovered that not only had their fire spirit beasts been stolen, but the earth fire had also been extinguished. The 2 of them left the sphere of influence of the sect before the concealment talisman failed. They boarded their flying spirit tools and rushed to Spirit Radiance sect. Finally, one of the disciples guarding the earth fire cave noticed something amiss. Have you noticed? Why does it feel a little strange? At first, the crowd did not think much of it, but the temperature was dropping more and more obviously. They were all shirtless and sweating, but now it was actually a little cold. I'll go take a look. You guys keep drinking. The disciple who noticed the abnormality at the beginning left the house and went straight to the earth fire cave. A moment later, the disciple's howl was heard. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. The earth fire has been extinguished. The disciples in the room scrambled inside and found that the earth fire had been extinguished. Not a single piece of it was left. It had completely been extinguished. The elders of the Heavenly Gate sect soon received the news. They tragically discovered that not only had the earth fire been extinguished, but they had also searched the cave hundreds of times and still had not found any traces of the fire spirit beast. Everyone was on the verge of collapse. For thousands of years, the Heavenly Gate sect had relied on this fire spirit beast to earn countless spirit stones. They even relied on it to blackmail the other powers. Now, not only had the earth fire been extinguished, but the money tree had also disappeared. After some discussion, they sent 2 elders to immediately take a flying spirit tool to deliver a letter to sect leader Du Gai. Sect leader, don't even think about using the earth fire to blackmail others. Our earth fire is fucking gone. Chapter 399, Little Jiu is back. Yun Chujio asked Enfong to accelerate at full speed. Enfong's flying spirit tool was much more advanced than that of Heavenly Gate sect. In addition, they set off after Yun Chujio, so they were at least 6 hours behind. Enfong, I'll be here. Go back and tell the gigolo that if he doesn't come and apologize to me, I won't forgive him. Yun Chujio raised her neck and said proudly. Miss Jio, I understand. Please take care of yourself. I'm leaving. Enfong smiled bitterly. Why should I leave? I still have to protect you in secret. Yun Chujio nodded and got down from the flying spirit tool. She hopped toward the mountain gate of Spirit Radiance sect. The few disciples guarding the gate immediately recognized Yun Chujio. Junior Sister Yun, you really didn't die. That's great. We said that you'd definitely be fine. The disciple guarding the gate and Yun Chujio were the same batch of disciples who entered the sect. They were very impressed by Yun Chujia's heroic move during the Mystic Realm trial. Moreover, Yun Chujio was now a successor disciple, so everyone naturally had good intentions toward her. Yun Chujio smiled sweetly at everyone. Thank you for your concern, senior brothers. I have something important to as the sect leader. I'll chat with you guys another day. A disciple looked at Yun Chujia's bouncing silhouette and said, I just realized that junior sister Yun is actually very beautiful. Especially when she smiles, I feel like my heart is about to jump out. Yeah, I remember that junior sister Yun was dark and skinny, but how come she has become so beautiful now? And she has also grown a lot taller. Sigh, I heard that junior sister Yun has hooked up with some young Master D. The backing behind that guy is astonishing. I guess he gave junior sister Yun some beauty pills or something. Yun Chujia's spiritual power was much higher than theirs. Hearing their words, she could not help but twitch her lips. Humph, I'm a natural beauty. What does this have to do with the gigolo? Yun Chujio felt that her walking speed was too slow, so she sat on the chopping board and staggered to the outside of the living room. Master! Master! Little Jio is back! Yun Chujio shouted loudly before she entered the living room. The people in the room had high spiritual power, so they had long noticed that someone was coming. When they saw the little girl who jumped in, they were happy and angry, yet curious and inquisitive. Master Xianyuan and the others were naturally surprised and happy. If Elder Chu had not been worried about her, he would have rushed up and hugged Yun Chujio and cried. As there were outsiders present, it was not convenient for them to ask. Master Xianyuan coughed and said, Yun Chujio, although you've returned safely and are very happy, you should not be so unruly. Don't you see that there are guests here? Everyone, this is the true disciple of Elder Sun Wuzhong, Yun Chujio. She went out to train a month ago, but she actually got lost. She's young, and her spiritual power is low. Her master has also been in secluded cultivation. As elders, we naturally pamper her a little. We aren't that strict with her, Master Tsuanyuan explained. However, he did not ask Yun Chujio to greet the three of them. What a joke! She was Spirit Radiant Sect's little ancestor. It was considered a favor that he did not make them greet each other. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and glanced at the three people sitting at the head of the guest seat. Other than the sect leader of Heavenly Gates sect, Du Gai, there was also a middle-aged woman with a cold appearance and a Taoist priest with a sage-like demeanor. They must be Fairy Yumei from Bixiao Palace and Taoist priest Chini from Immortal Sword sect. Yun Chujio smiled at the three of them innocently and sweetly. Greetings, sect leaders. It's been a long time since we last met, sect leader Du. That scarlet dawn silk that you gave me as a greeting gift has helped me a lot. After saying that, Yun Chujio looked at Fairy Yumei and Taoist Chini with a smile. Chapter 400, Was Yun Chujio crazy? Fairy Yumei and Taoist Chini were a little scared by Yun Chujio's gaze. However, they were all old people and immediately understood what Yun Chujio meant. This little girl was asking for a greeting gift from them. Master Xianyuan smiled and said, This child is really sentimental. Last time, Sect Master Du gave her a middle-grade spirit tool as a greeting gift, and now she always talks about it. Fairy Yumei and Taoist Chini were so angry that they were twitching. You old geezer, you're indirectly telling us that we have to give at least a middle-grade spirit tool in order to not undervalue ourselves. What an old fox. Their identities were made known. For the sake of the sect's dignity, they gritted their teeth and each gave Yun Chujio a middle-grade spirit tool. Thank you, sect masters. I'm really sorry for making you spend so much on our first meeting. Yun Chujio said politely, but she quickly put the two spirit tools into her storage ring, afraid that they would go back on their words. Fairy Yumei and Taoist Chini said to Master Xianyuan with a fake smile, Master Xianyuan, I don't think this Yun Chujio is like Sun Wuzhong, but she's very similar to you. Master Xianyuan said with a smile, little Jiao and I hit it off quite well. We're both people who value relationships. Fairy Yumei and Daoist Jinny were speechless. This old fellow's skin was getting thicker and thicker. Although he was cunning in the past, his skin did not seem that thick. Why had he become so shameless in the past year? Yun Chujiu made a small fortune and jumped behind Elder Chu. Elder Chu turned his head and his eyes were about to twitch. Yun Chujiu understood what he meant and said with a smile, Elder Chu, don't worry. The things you asked me to take care of is done. When Elder Chu heard that, he immediately beamed with joy. Good. Very good, you are so reliable. Sect Master, little Jiao has returned. It's really a joyous occasion. Master Xianyuan naturally understood what Elder Chu meant. It seemed that Yun Chujiu had brought back the fire spirit beasts. Du Gai, in the future, our spirit radiance sect will no longer be under your control. Fairy Yumei, Daoist Priest Jinny, let's return to the main topic. Our Heavenly Gate sect can let bygones be bygones, but from now on, your earth fire is not allowed to be sold to Spirit Radiance sect. Otherwise, we will cut off your supple of earth fire. Du Gai's attitude could be said to be very impolite. However, in Qingxian continent, only their sect possessed the earth fire. Even if one was dissatisfied, what could one do? Although Fairy Yumei and Daoist Jinny were indignant, they could only nod and agree for the sake of their own sect. Du Gai saw the situation and looked at Master Xianyuan with a fake smile. Master Xianyuan, now that Yun Chujiu has returned, does Spirit Radiance sect still not agree to our conditions? Master Xianyuan was about to refuse when Yun Chujiu raised her little claws and said, Master Xianyuan, can I express my opinion? Master Xianyuan nodded. Sure, go ahead. Fairy Yumei and Daoist Jinny looked at each other. This Yun Chujiu was really favored. Under normal circumstances, how could a small successor disciple have the right to speak in this kind of situation? Yun Chujiu said with a serious face, Master Xianyuan, I think our sect should give away 1/10 of the spirit stones. Yun Chujiu's words immediately caused a huge commotion among the crowd. Everyone from Spirit Radiance sect was dumbfounded. Is Yun Chujiu crazy? You have 8 fire spirit beasts in your spirit beast pouch. Why would you agree to their conditions? Chapter 401, What if the Heavenly Gate sect could not fulfill their promise? Master Xianyuan only frowned slightly. Oh. Tell me the reason. Master, earth fire is very important. Otherwise, why would Fairy Yumei and Daoist Priest Jinny abandon the friendship between our 3 sects and submit to the tyranny of the Heavenly Gate sect? Du Gai snorted coldly and suppressed his displeasure, waiting for Yun Chujiu to continue. Fairy Yumei and Daoist Zenyus expressions looked unnatural. This little girl's words are really unpleasant to hear, but Heavenly Gate sect are a little too arrogant. Without the earth fire, refining weapons and pills will be restricted, so we can only bear with the pain and give up our precious share of spirit stones to exchange for the earth fire. Sect Master, we can't delay the sect's advancement just because of a momentary impulse. Please think twice. Yun Chujiu said with incomparable pain. It was as if they did not agree to Heavenly Gate sect, Spirit Radiance sect would be exterminated. Yun Chujiu gave Elder Chu a look. Elder Chu thought to himself, this little Jiao has always been crafty and resourceful. She must have her reasons for doing this. Therefore, Elder Chu also quickly said, Sect Master, what little Jiao said makes sense. The earth fire has been cut off for a month, and whether it's refining pills or refining weapons, it has been greatly affected. We should agree to Heavenly Gate sect's conditions. A few of the elders who were quick-witted heard Elder Chu's words, and in view of Yun Chujiu's character of seizing opportunities, everyone felt that there must be something fishy going on, so they all started to assist. Sect leader, little Jiao and Elder Chu's words make sense. The earth fire can't be cut off. Transferring 1/10 of the spirit stones will not have much of an impact on Spirit Radiance sect, but we absolutely cannot do without earth fire. That's right, sect leader. We can earn spirit stones through other channels, but only Heavenly Gates sect has earth fire. I also agree with Little Joe's words. Let's accept Heavenly Gates sect's conditions. Fairy Yumei and Taoist priest Jinny were dumbfounded. Before this little girl returned, these people from Spirit Radiance sect did not express this. They would rather not use the earth fire than agree to Heavenly Gates sect's conditions. Why was it that this little girl uttered a few words, and suddenly everyone had a change of mind? Did this little girl's words carry so much weight? Master Xianyuan seemed to be in a difficult position. What you said makes sense, but the share of spirit stones is also very important. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes. Master Xianyuan, as the saying goes, one who is not prepared to risk his child will never catch the wolf. 1. There's no way to get the best of both worlds. Achieving balance between the two is more important than the earth fire. Master Xianyuan gritted his teeth and said, "All right, since both of you are inclined to buy the earth fire, then I agree to use 1/10 of the spirit stones to buy earth fire." Master Xianyuan thought to himself, "Little ancestor, you better not screw this up, or else we will end up losing everything." Since that's the case, Master Xianyuan, let's sign the contract. Fairy Yumei and Taoist Jinny will be the witnesses. Du Gai was very pleased when he heard Master Xianyuan say that. This time, he'll get 1/10 of your spirit stones. Next time, he'll get 1/5 of Master Xuanyuan's spirit stones. Sooner or later, our Heavenly Gates sect would unify Qingxian. Du Gai took out the contract that he had prepared long ago and gestured for Master Xianyuan to sign it and seal it with Spirit Radiance sect's official seal. Yun Chuzhou hopped to the front of Master Xianyuan and glanced at the contract a few times. Then, she curled her lips and pointed out a couple things. Master Du Gai, this contract can't only be binding Spirit Radiance sect, right? What if Heavenly Gates sect can't fulfill the contract? For example, what if you can't provide enough earth fire? Chapter 402, Do You Dare to Accept? Du Gai sneered again and again. What a joke. For thousands of years, the earth fire supply our sect has always been of high quality and quantity. When has there ever been an oversight? It's better to be safe than sorry. Since you think there wouldn't be a problem, then what's the harm in adding one more clause? Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Humph. What do you want to add? Du Gai snorted coldly. Well, it's very simple. If Heavenly Gates sect is unable to provide sufficient earth fire according to the contract, then not only will your sect have to return our share of spirit stones, you will also have to compensate us with an additional 1/10 of our sect's share of spirit stones. Do you dare to accept? Yun Chuzhou crossed her arms, her legs were shaking, and her face was full of arrogance. Outrageous. Our Heavenly Gates sect has never signed such an earth fire contract before. Du Gai slammed the table and said unhappily. TSK, the agreement Heavenly Gates sect prepared is a hegemonic one. If your Heavenly Gates sect is unable to supply earth fire, wouldn't we be at a huge loss? Besides, the previous contract was just to buy earth fire with spirit stones. Right now, we're giving away 1/10 of our share of spirit stones. Sect leader, if he doesn't agree, we won't sign the contract. At most, well, go out and buy medicinal pills and spirit tools in the future. What's the big deal about that? Don't tell me 1/10 of our share of spirit stones isn't enough to buy medicinal pills and spirit tools. This is really infuriating. It's making me so angry that I'm hungry. After Yun Chuzhou finished speaking, she hopped back behind Elder Chu, took out a spirit fruit, and started munching on it. Master Xianyuan frowned. Yun Chuzhou is right. Heavenly Gates sect is too unreasonable. If you don't agree to add this clause, then let's forget about this matter. The sect hasn't reached the point that we have to disband it just because we don't have earth fire. Du Gai's expression changed a few times. He looked at the few elders of Heavenly Gate's sect who were sitting behind him and exchanged glances with them. Du Gai then said, "All right, there's no harm in adding this clause. Our sect's earth fire hasn't had any problems for thousands of years. I don't believe that will be any different this time." After adding this clause to the contract, Master Xianyuan and Du Gai signed their names and stamped the official seals of both sects on it. Fairy Yumei and Daoist Jinni also signed their names as witnesses. The contract was considered to be effective. Du Gai said proudly, "Master Xianyuan, since the contract is already effective, then Spirit Radiance sect should hurry and send someone to the Spirit Stone Mine with us to hand it over." "Master Du, why are you in such a hurry? We have guests from afar. I've prepared a banquet, and I hope everyone will come." Master Xianyuan was truly uncertain. "Little Nine, what exactly are you planning? The earth fire from Heavenly Gate's sect hasn't wavered for thousands of years. Could something really happen? In that case, he'll have to trouble you. As long as the transaction of the Spirit Stone Mine is completed, he'll give the order to restore the supply of earth fire to Spirit Radiance sect." Du Gai was feeling extremely at ease at that moment. The previous generations of sect masters did not have my boldness and were always cautious. The Heavenly Gate sect would definitely flourish in my hands. At the banquet, Du Gai was very proud. Fairy Yumei and Daoist Jinni frowned slightly. The Heavenly Gate sect had taken advantage of Spirit Radiance sect. It's inevitable for them to attack us in the future. We should be more cautious when we go back. The people from Spirit Radiance sect ate unenthusiastically. They were a little uncertain. Will little Jiu fail this time? If they miscalculated, it would be so embarrassing. They had 8 fire spirit beasts. If they used 1/10 of their spirit stones to buy earth fire, their heads would be kicked by spirit beasts. Chapter 403, Something monumental happened. Yun Chujio, on the other hand, was enjoying her meal. Originally, those who attended the banquet were all elders, so Yun Chujio had nothing to do with it. This shameless girl decided to follow them. Then, she even sat at the table with Master Xianyuan and the others. Although Du Gai hated this little girl to death, it was all thanks to her words that he was able to succeed this time, so he did not say anything. Fairy Yumei and Daoist Jinni frowned. Spirit Radiance sect was too unruly. A mere successor disciple was actually on equal footing with them. However, the two of them had a deep sense of self-restraint. Although they were dissatisfied, they did not say anything. Master Xianyuan cried out bitterly in his heart. This is Spirit Radiance sect's little ancestor. If she was not qualified to sit here, no one would be. Yun Chujio saw a roast chicken on the table. She was not shy and courteous at all and broke off a drumstick and started eating. Du Gai had a look of disdain. Little girl, how many days have you not eaten? Could it be that Spirit Radiance sect is this poor? You can't even feed your disciples. Yun Chujio said with a smile, didn't I just come back? I just did some physical work, so I'm really hungry. Please forgive me. Master Du, I advise you to eat more. The world is unpredictable, and you might not be in the mood to eat later. Du Gai snorted coldly. I've always been open-minded, so how could I let small matters affect my mood? Yun Chujio nodded, yeah, I admire big-hearted people like you. I hope that sect Master Du will always maintain this. Fairy Yumei and Daoist Jinni looked at each other. This Yun Chujio spoke without any scruples, and Master Xianyuan does not try to stop her. The rest of the Spirit Radiance sect also had a conniving attitude. Could it be that Yun Chujio and Master Xianyuan were related by blood? Could she be Master Xuanyuan's illegitimate? Master Xianyuan frowned. Could it be that Yumei and Zenyas' eyes were cramping? Why did they look at me with such a strange gaze? At that moment, a disciple of Spirit Radiance sect came in to report, Sect Leader, Elder Nyo and Elder Ma of Heavenly Gates sect requests to see you. They say that they have something important to report to Sect Leader Du Gai. Du Gai's heart inexplicably trembled. Something big must have happened. Otherwise, they would not have traveled all the way to Spirit Radiance sect. Master Xianyuan signaled the disciple who had reported to him to invite Elder Nyo and Elder Ma in. A moment later, two elders dressed in Heavenly Gate sect's elder attire walked in with solemn expressions. After the two of them greeted each other, they said to Du Gai, Sect Master, we have something important to report. Please excuse us for a moment. When Sect Master Du Gai saw their expressions, a strong sense of unease welled up in his heart. He immediately went outside with the two of them. After opening the isolation array, he asked, what happened? Elder Nyo and Elder Ma were on the verge of tears. Sect Master, something monumental happened. Not only has the earth fire in the earth fire cave been extinguished, even that fire spirit beast has disappeared without a trace. Du Gai only felt a buzzing sound in his head as he grabbed Elder Ma's clothes. What did you say? Say it again. Elder Ma repeated the matter with a bitter expression. Sect Master, the matter has already happened. We should hurry up and make up for it. Since the sect masters of Bixiao Palace and Immortal Sword sect are both here, let's take this opportunity to cancel the contract. Anyway, the contract doesn't have a clause that says that we have to pay compensation if we breach the contract. Du Gai's face was ashen, and the veins on his forehead bulged. He gritted his teeth and said, I didn't include that clause in the original contract, but I fucking did in the new contract with Spirit Radiance sect. Chapter 404, I actually hit the nail on the head. Elder Nyo and Elder Ma were dumbfounded. They asked with trembling faces, Sect Master, what compensation did you include? Although the two of them were a little worried, they felt that the sect master would still know his limits. Even if he wrote a compensation, it would not be too much. The two of them saw Du Gai's face turn green, then red, then purple. He gritted his teeth and said, 1/10 of their spirit stones. Elder Nyo and Elder Ma nearly fainted. What? Sect leader, what did you say? Du Gai gritted his teeth and said again, the matter of the earth fire extinguishing is inextricably linked to Spirit Radiance sect for sure. That old man Xianyuan set a trap for me. Sect leader, but we didn't find any traces of other people entering the cave. Moreover, the earth fire is violent and difficult to extinguish. How would they do it? Moreover, Spirit Radiance sect's Master Xianyuan and the elders are all in the sect. Who is so heaven-defying that not only did they extinguish the earth fire, but they also stole the fire spirit beast? The first person that flashed through Du Gai's mind was Yun Chujio. However, he shook his head. This was simply the biggest joke in the world. She was just a little girl at the 4th level of spirit enhancement. Even if there were 100 or 1,000 of them added together, they would not be able to accomplish such a big feat. Could it be that it was not done by them? They had just happened to take advantage of it. Du Gai was in a terrible state at that moment and was prepared to return to the sect to discuss with everyone first. It would be best if he obtained the Spirit Radiance sect's share of the spirit stones first. As for the earth fire, he would find an excuse to delay it for a period of time. As for the 1/10 of the spirit stones that he would have to compensate Spirit Radiance sect, he would just act like a scoundrel when the time came and say that he could not give it to them no matter what. The Immortal sect could not do anything to Heavenly Gate sect anyway. Du Gai made up his mind and calmed his expression. Only then did he act as if nothing had happened and enter the banquet hall. The two elders were also invited into the banquet hall and sat down to attend the banquet. Master Xianyuan and the two other sect masters were extremely curious. What exactly had happened to Heavenly Gate sect that they sent two elders to Spirit Radiance sect? Sect Master Dugu, did something happen? Do you need our help? Master Xianyuan asked tentatively. It's nothing serious. It's just a dispute between a few disciples. One of them is my true disciple who was slightly injured, Du Gai said in a decent manner. Everyone was skeptical, but this was the private matter of Heavenly Gate sect, so it was naturally not appropriate to ask too much. However, there was still the shameless Yun Chuzhou. This fellow had almost finished eating, so she leaned back on the chair and said with a grin, "Is it not a big deal? I heard from the side just now that your earth fire has been extinguished, and the fire spirit beast has been stolen. Are you planning to act like a scoundrel and stall for time without compensating us?" Du Gai blurted out, "Nonsense. How can I be the kind of person who doesn't keep his word?" Du Gai immediately regretted his words. He had fallen for this stupid girl's trick. The three of us had set up an isolation array. It was impossible for this stupid girl to hear us. She was trying to trick me. However, it was already too late. Everyone in the banquet hall immediately reacted. There was no fool there. Looking at Du Gai's reaction, it was most likely true. If nothing had happened to the earth fire, Du Gai would have refuted the first few sentences Yun Chuzhou said and not the last sentence about stalling for time. Yun Chuzhou clapped her hands. "Oh my God, could it be that your earth fire has really been extinguished? The fire spirit beast has also disappeared. I was just casually saying it, and I actually hit the nail on the head. Oh my God, did Heavenly Gate sect do something so heartless that they were punished by the heavens?" Chapter 405, This little girl is suspicious, utterly heartless. Punished by the heavens. Du Gai wished he could strangle Yun Chuzhou to death and was about to make a move out of humiliation. Yun Chuzhou hid behind Master Xianyuan and said, "Damn, I was only guessing. Who knew I would guessed it right? So now that I did, you want to murder me just to silence me. Besides, I'm so young, my words should not bring meaning. Don't you know? You're really narrow-minded. You even said that you were open-minded before this." Humph. Master Xianyuan protected Yun Chuzhou behind him. However, he reprimanded her, "Yun Chuzhou. How can you speak like that? As the sect leader of a sect, how could sect leader Du lower himself to your level? Sect leader Du, you're not really going to take this little girl seriously, are you? Furthermore, there's a problem with your sect's earth fire. Aren't you going to give the three sects an explanation?" Fairy Yumei and Daoist Chini were shocked. There was really something wrong with Heavenly Gate's sect's earth fire. How could it be so coincidental? They had just signed a contract with Spirit Radiance sect with a compensation agreement when something went amiss with their earth fire. This matter definitely had something to do with the Spirit Radiance sect, but how did they do it? Earth fire was different from ordinary fire. It could not be extinguished even with water. Not to mention the fire spirit beast had not been seen for thousands of years. How was this possible? However, Heavenly Gate's sect was usually very arrogant. It was a good opportunity to vent their anger. "That's right, sect leader Du, you don't have to hide it anymore. The two elders must have come from thousands of miles away to report something very important. For your sect to be so frazzled, it must be related to the earth fire." Daoist Chini said with a cold smile. If the little girl didn't expose this, he would have really treated us as fools. Fairy Yumei also sneered, "Sect leader Du Gai, although the contract between you and Bixiao Palace doesn't mention the compensation for breach of contract, we can't just let this go, right?" Du Gai gritted his teeth. At this point, he could not hide it anymore and could only delay it for a while. Hence, he squeezed out a smile and said, "Everyone, don't worry. Our Heavenly Gate sect is not a sect that's irresponsible. However, the incident happened suddenly, so I have to go back and understand the situation first before I can give you an answer. Everyone, I'm sorry. I'll take my leave first. Goodbye." After saying that, Du Gai led the group of people from Heavenly Gate sect and left. No one stopped him. They had not reached the point of falling out with each other yet. There was still a long way to go, and they were not afraid to settle their scores. Master Zheni laughed out loud. Master Xianyuan, you're really something. You actually managed to get Heavenly Gate Sect's fire spirit beast here. Master Xianyuan saw Yun Chuzhou shaking her head slightly, so he said self-deprecatingly, Master Zheni, you're overestimating our sect too much. The Heavenly Gate Sect's earth fire cave is heavily guarded and even has the earth fire as a barrier. We do not have the ability to pull something like that off. Besides, other than the few elders who are in secluded cultivation, all of our sect's competent people are here. How could we have the chance to steal the fire spirit beast? However, no matter which expert did it, or if it really was heaven's punishment, it definitely helped us vent our anger. All these years, the Heavenly Gate sect has relied on the earth fire to take advantage of our three sects. When Daoist Zheni and Fairy Yumei heard what Master Xianyuan said and began to mutter in their hearts. That's right, everyone in Spirit Radiance sect who's competent is here. It's impossible for them to have the opportunity to steal the fire spirit beast. Little girl, how did you know that there was a problem with the Heavenly Gate sect's earth fire? Fairy Yumei stared at Yun Chuzhou and asked. This little girl is rather suspicious. If it wasn't for her, the sect wouldn't have agreed to sign the contract, and they wouldn't have proposed adding the clause of compensation for breach of contract. Could a little girl at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm do such an earth-shattering thing? Chapter 406, 9 is a bit lacking. Yun Chuzhou giggled. I guessed it. Look at the two elders who came, one with the surname of Nyo and the other with the surname of Ma. Isn't that just the ox head and horse face? That definitely won't be a good thing. I figured that the most important thing for them is their earth fire, so I just casually said that. I didn't expect that I actually got it right. Everyone, including Fairy Yumei, were speechless. Can you be more serious? Are you kidding me? Yun Chuzhou, be serious and answer Master Yumei's question properly. Master Xianyuan reprimanded unhappily. Yun Chuzhou pouted and said, I was really just saying it casually. Just look at the two elders from Heavenly Gate sect who came here with weeping faces. It's obvious that something big has happened. When they came back, even though Du Gai tried his best to hide it, his forehead was already sweating. It's obvious that something big happened. I just tricked him a little. I didn't expect him to admit it. Don't tell me that you guys think that I stole the Heavenly Gates sect's fire spirit beast. If I had that ability, I would definitely take it out to show off. Ha ha ha. The people from Spirit Radiance sect also laughed out loud, as if they were listening to a joke. However, in their hearts, they were thinking, it was you. It was you. It was you. It was definitely you who did it. Otherwise, with your character of seizing all opportunities, why would you even take the initiative to agree with Heavenly Gate sect's offer? You were clearly digging a huge pit. That old thing, Du Gai, thought he's smart, but he was still tricked by this little girl with a belly full of evil tricks. Fairy Yumei and Daoist Zheni did not panic at all when they saw Yun Chuzhou laughing. They also thought that they were overthinking. How could such a little girl have such great abilities? They must be overthinking. Master Xianyuan discussed some follow-up matters with the two of them. Then, they left with their entourage. Master Xianyuan quickly activated the isolation array. Then, he asked in a trembling voice, Yun Chuzhou, did you cause the problems Heavenly Gate sect is facing? Yun Chuzhou straightened her small body, raised her neck, and said smugly, of course I did. Other than me, who else has the ability to do such an earth-shattering thing? The corners of everyone's eyes twitched, but they were also very impressed. It was no wonder that this little girl was so smug. She indeed had the right to be smug. She actually extinguished Heavenly Gate sect's earth fire and even kidnapped the fire spirit beast. It was really satisfying. I heard that you also took in 8 fire spirit beasts from the fire cave. Master Xianyuan continued to ask. Yun Chuzhou nodded. Yes, there are only 8. Including the one from the Heavenly Gate sect, there are a total of 9. It's indeed very little, but it's enough. Everyone was so angry that they were twitching. Would you die if you didn't act? You're purely showing off. There's 9 of them and you're still not satisfied. Heavenly Gate sect had 1 and they were already showing off to no end. Master Xianyuan coughed dryly. Then can you summon it out so that we can see it with our own eyes? Many of us have never seen what a fire spirit beast looks like. Yun Chuzhou nodded. No problem. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, little 1, little 2, little 3, little 4, and little 5, come out. Everyone was shocked by these names. Yun Chuzhou was good at everything except that naming. Following Yun Chuzhiu's words, 9 fire spirit beasts were summoned out of the spirit beast pouch. 4 adult fire spirit beasts stood cautiously beside Yun Chuzhiu. The 5 little ones looked around curiously, looking innocent and cute. Chapter 407. There must be something fishy going on. The people of Spirit Radiance sect were all extremely excited. Heavens, they had finally seen the appearance of fire spirit beasts in their lifetime. Plus, there were 9 of them. It was simply too exciting, was it not? In the future, Sect's earth fire would be endless. Moreover, they could even sell it to other sections. It was truly a beautiful sight to behold. Come, little babies. Let's show them the formation we've practiced. Let's start with a long snake formation. Yun Chuzhou said proudly with her little hands behind her back. The 9 fire spirit beasts obediently lined up in a row. 2 dragons playing with beads. Triple grand sun rising. When the people of Spirit Radiance sect saw the fire spirit beasts obediently changing their formation according to Yun Chuzhiu's words, they could not help but be dumbfounded. Some people even secretly pinched themselves, grimacing in pain as they rubbed their eyes with all their might. Fuck, didn't people say that fire spirit beasts are stubborn and violent? Why are the 9 in front of them even more obedient than little sheep? Could it be that the little sheep had disguised themselves? Come on, you guys are ancient exotic beasts. Can you have some integrity? Is this acting cute and juggling something that you ancient beasts should do? Have you seen enough? I'll keep them. Yun Chuzhou put the fire spirit beast back into the spirit beast pouch and said, Master Xianyuan, if there's nothing else, I'll go back to the dormitory. Master Xianyuan pondered over it and felt that something wasn't right. Yun Chuzhou, what's the arrangement for the fire spirit beasts in the future? Master Xuanyuan's eyes flashed. This little girl was very stingy. Could it be that she was going to keep all the fire spirit beasts for herself? Arrangement? I'm just raising them for fun. I've practiced the formation, so if I have nothing to do, they'll get them to play kuju with me. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Cough cough. That's a little overkill. Besides, although these fire spirit beasts can eat other things, they mainly eat ores. Most importantly, what should we do with the earth fire that they discharge? It might even burn down your small courtyard. Master Xianyuan said tactfully. Master Xianyuan, they have a way to extinguish the earth fire. Otherwise, how could I extinguish the earth fire from Heavenly Gate sect? If you have something to say, just say it. I'm not an unreasonable person, Yun Chuzhou said with a tone that made it easy to negotiate. Cough cough. Then, I will just be direct. Can we keep the fire spirit beasts in our sect's back mountain? Firstly, they can move freely. Secondly, I will send disciples to guard them strictly to prevent any accidents, Master Xianyuan said with a smile. Yun Chuzhou giggled. Sect Master, I understand what you mean. You just want the earth fire to belong to the sect, right? That's not impossible. I'm a person who cares about the big picture the most. Even though I fished these fire spirit beasts with buns, I'm a member of Spirit Radiance sect, so I naturally have to think of our sect. Yun Chujio, you've made a great contribution this time, so I'll reward you. Master Xuanyuan's old face flushed red. This little girl is taking the credit. That's right. If it weren't for Yun Chujio, Elder Chu and the others would have died in the fire cave. Not to mention she caught so many fire spirit beasts. Yun Chujio smiled and said, "Thank you, Master. How about this? I'm not a greedy person. Our sect can use the earth fire as we please. I won't accept a single spirit stone." Everyone felt that there was something wrong with their ears. Oh my God, did the sun rise from the north? This Yun Chujio is the stingiest. Why is she suddenly so generous? There must be something fishy going on. Chapter 408, We are not used to her not being greedy. Master Xianyuan raised his eyebrows. What additional conditions do you have? Yun Chujio giggled. Master, you know me well. First, we must ensure the safety of these fire spirit beasts. We can't be like the Heavenly Gates sect and neglect our duties. If there are any dereliction of duty, we must punish them severely. Second, the price of the earth fire will be reduced to 80% of price set by Heavenly Gates sect. If any force or sect is willing to exchange it for a fragment of the Great Void Mirror, the price of the earth fire will be further reduced by 20%. We will split the spirit stones we get from selling the earth fire in half. Everyone listened to Yun Chujio's words. The first item was reasonable, but the second item was a little unclear. This little girl was very greedy. Why did she set the price of the earth fire so low? Also, why was she so interested in the Great Void Mirror? The 50-50 split of profits was reasonable. Why did you reduce the price of the earth fire to 80% of what Heavenly Gates sect charged? Master Xianyuan was also puzzled. Master Xianyuan, the Heavenly Gates sect has suffered such a huge loss. When we have our earth fire, he will definitely bite back and say that we stole his fire spirit beast. Although I have a way to prove that they aren't from their sect, it's very likely that they will incite other factions to target Spirit Radiance sect. Therefore, we have to seize this opportunity. First of all, it will be announced to the public that a fire spirit beast has appeared in Spirit Radiance sect. The reason why we should say that it was only one beast is because it's akin to being a crime to have these treasures. If the other factions knew that we actually have 9 fire spirit beasts, they will start making all sorts of treats and promises, and our sect would be in a difficult position to deal with them. Secondly, by announcing the price of the earth fire, everyone would be able to benefit from it. Naturally, they wouldn't speak to Heavenly Gates sect. Lastly, print out a few hundred copies of the contract that Heavenly Gates sect signed with us and distribute them to all the major and small powers. This is to prevent Heavenly Gates sect from reneging on their promise. Everyone stared at Yun Chujio with their mouths agape. How did this little girl's brain grow so much? That was a chain of events. Such meticulous thinking truly made them sweat. They were only concerned with being happy. How could they have considered so much? No wonder she was the successor disciple of Patriarch Linghua. They really could not compare to her. Master Xianyuan nodded his head. What you said makes sense. Then what about the Great Void Mirror fragment? I need it for something, so we might as well include it. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Master Xianyuan could not help but laugh, but did not ask further. Instead, he asked, if the Heavenly Gates sect says that the fire spirit beast is theirs, do you have the confidence to prove that the beast has nothing to do with them? Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. That's a piece of cake. When the time comes, he'll let them slap themselves in the face. Master, you just said that the sect wants to give me a reward. What kind of reward do you want to give me? When everyone saw Yun Chujio's expression, they immediately felt at ease. Yes, that's more like it. If this little girl isn't greedy, they aren't used to it. In the end, Yun Chujio obtained a few more defensive spirit tools and an isolation array plate from Master Shenyuan. She had a special liking for defensive spirit tools. Nothing was more important than her life. Yun Chujio sat on the chopping board and returned to the dormitory. Just as she reached the courtyard entrance, Yun Chu and the others surrounded her. Yun Chu and the others were all very haggard. They had been suffering for the past month because they were worried about Yun Chujio's safety. Now that they saw Yun Chujio return safely, they were finally relieved. After Yun Chu and the others left, Yun Chujio was about to enter the house to rest when she saw a flashy man in red appear in the courtyard. Chapter 409, The Chicken or the Egg Came First. Little Sister Jiu, long time no see. Did you miss your brother? Shui Wuji stroked the hair on his forehead and made a pose that he thought was the most charming. Brother Wuji, I missed you. Did you come to give me spirit stones again? Yun Chujio said with a smile. The corner of Shui Wuji's eyes twitched. Little Sister Jiu, you really know how to joke around. I heard that you went missing for a month. Has that facial paralysis guy been with you the whole time? Yun Chujio revealed a look of sudden realization, then, she sighed. Brother Wuji, I told you that you and my Prince Charming are in a gay relationship. As expected, it turns out that your visit is fake and your curiosity about my Prince Charming's whereabouts is your true intention. Since you care about him so much, then be bold and confess to him. I don't mind. I'll fulfill your wish. Shui Wuji almost vomited. He resisted the idea of strangling Yun Chujio and squeezed out a smile. Little Sister Jiu is still so humorous. The person that Big Brother likes is you. How could I like that emotionless guy? Long time no see. Why don't we sit down and have a chat? Although Yun Chujio was annoyed to death by this red-clothed pervert, she was also afraid of angering him. She could only sit on the stone bench and ask with a smile, Big Brother Wuji, what shall we talk about? I know astronomy and geography. Little Sister Jiu, we can talk about anything you want. Shui Wuji looked at Yun Chujio lovingly. Shui Wuji secretly used his charm. This move of his was successful every time, stunning countless little girls. He did not believe that this stinky girl could withstand it. Yun Chujio's little heart thumped rapidly. Heavens, this red-robed pervert was really good-looking. Shui Wuji saw that Yun Chujio's eyes were a little lost, and he was very proud of himself. How could an ignorant little girl escape his grasp? At that moment, Yun Chujio was thinking that since this red-robed pervert was so good-looking, his portrait would definitely sell very well. Not to mention women, there would probably be some men who would go so crazy as to buy it. Shui Wuji and Yun Chujio both revealed a smile of success. Shadow Agent Hua Hua, who was beside them, broke out in cold sweat. No matter how he looked at it, he felt that these two people were thinking of some cunning ideas. It was better for an honest person like him to stay away from them. Although the two of them had different thoughts in their hearts, it did not hinder their happy mood. Shui Wuji asked again, Little Sister Jiu, what do you want to talk about? Brother Wuji, do you really know everything? Then I'll ask you a few small questions. If you can't answer them, you'll pay me 10,000 spirit stones for each question. If you can answer them, I'll pay you 10,000 spirit stones. Brother Wuji, do you dare to accept? Shui Wuji pretended to be cool as he flipped his hair. Why not? You can ask. Did the chicken or egg come first? Yun Chujio tilted her small head and asked seriously. Shui Wuji sneered disdainfully. Of course there's a chicken. Only with a chicken will an egg be born. It's such a simple question. You can even think of the answer with your toes, okay? Little Sister Jiu, can you give me more difficult questions? Brother Wuji, where did the chicken come from? Chicken. The chicken naturally comes from an egg. Shui Wuji was stunned after he said that. The chicken laid eggs, and the egg gave birth to the chicken. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Brother Wuji, it seems that you already know that your answer is wrong. Give me the spirit stones. Yun Chujio stretched out her small claws with a smile. After Shui Wuji transferred the spirit stones to Yun Chujio, he snorted coldly. It's just that I was careless. Let's go again. If we use a winter melon or stone to hit Wawa's head, which would hurt more? Haha, of course it's the stone. Do you even need to ask that? Shui Wuji was full of confidence this time. He was sure that he was right this time. Wrong. It's Wawa's head that hurts more. Give me the spirit stones. Shui Wuji was speechless. Chapter 4:10, You still have me. Shui Wuji gritted his teeth. Continue asking. Yun Chujio giggled. This is not fun. I'm not going to ask anymore. Let's play 5-piece chess instead. Loser pays 10,000 spirit stones for each game. Yun Chujio was smart, but Shui Wuji was not an idiot. If she asked him again, he would find the trick to answer. At that time, she would lose. 5-piece chess. What is it? Shui Wuji asked in confusion. It's very fun. It's much simpler than Go. Brother Wuji, don't tell me you don't dare to play. Or do you think 10,000 spirit stones is too much? Humph. Me? Don't dare. 50,000. 50,000 for one game. Tell me the rules. Shadow Agent Huahua was on the verge of tears. Young master, this little girl is obviously tricking you again. Why don't you learn your lesson? He was puzzled. Did they come all the way here just to be tricked? Yun Chujio was very confident. Even a gigolo had to use 5 rounds to find the trick. How could this black chicken be smarter than the gigolo? Therefore, after 5 rounds, Yun Chujio said, I'm not going to play anymore. This thing is too brain-consuming. I'm dizzy. Let's play another day. 5, 25. Brother Wuji, give me 250,000 spirit stones. Shui Wuji had just found a trick and was in a good mood. When he heard that Yun Chujio was not going to play anymore, he immediately refused to give up and said, No, I have to continue. Brother Wuji, I already said that I'm dizzy. Don't tell me you want to take advantage of my situation. This isn't your style. You've always been an open and above-board man. Would you be so despicable as to force me? Yun Chujio said pitifully. Shui Wuji was rendered speechless by her words. He gritted his teeth and thought to himself, if I can't do it this time, then next time. Sooner or later, he'll get back the spirit stones that I lost. All right. If you don't want to, then don't. Little sister Jiu, let's have a chat. There were things I couldn't say out loud with that expressionless man around the other day. This time, I'll tell you everything that I know, Shui Wuji said with an expression that screamed, I will do it for you. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and said, Brother Wuji, tell me. Di Baiming has a bad reputation in Tianyuan continent. Aside from being nitpicky, everyone also says that he's gay. Otherwise, would his mother hold all kinds of banquets every few days? She's just afraid that her son won't be able to marry a wife. Shadow Agent Wawa's eyes twitched. Young master, is it really okay for you to lie like this? I heard that when those young ladies hear that there's a banquet at the Temple of Immortals, all of them wish that they could grow wings and fly over. Moreover, that banquet was not something that just anyone could attend. They were all carefully selected young ladies, and for the sake of a spot to participate in the banquet, they would fight to death for it. Furthermore, little sister Jiu, that mother of Di Baiming is a famous old shrew. She would never agree to let you marry him. When the time comes, she might even take your life. Indifferent. My mother died a long time ago, and my father doesn't care about me at all. As long as you agree, I'll marry you tomorrow. You'd be the young madam of the demon blood sect. Shui Wuji said. He looked at Yun Chuzhou with deep affection. Yun Chuzhou was stunned at first. Then, she covered her mouth and ran into the house, trembling. Sob, brother Wuji, I'm so sad. I didn't expect the gigolo to lie to me. Sob, you go first. We'll talk another day. Shui Wuji was very proud. He held back his joy and shouted, little sister Jiu, don't be sad. It's not worth it for that bastard. Brother will come to see you tomorrow. Yun Chujia's sobbing voice came from the house. Sob, brother Wuji, you better come back in a couple days instead. I need to calm down. Sob. Okay. Little sister Jiu, you mustn't be too sad. You still have me. I'll leave then. Shui Wuji floated away. Chapter 411, This young master will make your life a living hell. Hua, how was that? I told you my charm is boundless, right? That stinky girl is already disappointed in debeiming. I just need to work harder and take advantage of the situation. This little girl will be in my grasp. Shui Wuji's mood was extremely fantastic at that moment. Losing some spirit stones was nothing. As long as he could get his hands on the little girl, debeiming would definitely suffer a huge blow. Shadow Agent Hua held it in, but in the end, he could not hold it in anymore. Young master, don't you think that the little girl's attitude has changed too quickly? I feel that she's probably lying to you again. Nonsense. Are you saying I can't even tell if she's lying to me or not? She was so sad that she was trembling. How could she be lying to me? Moreover, I'm not inferior to that facial paralysis, and I was so good to the little girl. I deliberately lost so many spirit stones to her. How could she not be moved? Shadow Agent Hua was already powerless to retort. Why was he even trying? Forget it. I see that you've tried your best but was still cheated by the little girl. It's really strange. You're usually so smart, but why do you become like a fool when you meet the little girl? Okay, in order to prove that I am right, let's sneak back and see the little girl's reaction. I will convince you wholeheartedly. Shui Wuji was actually a little suspicious about what Shadow Agent Hua said, so he decided to go back and take a look. The two of them activated the concealment talisman and went to Yun Chujia's small courtyard again. They saw Yun Chuzhou sitting on the recliner happily, nibbling on the spirit fruit while chatting with the rolling pin next to her. Little Flame, how was that? Your master cheated that black chicken out of 270,000 spirit stones again. TSK. He wants to lie to me with that IQ. It's simply a dream. Master, is what he said about the gigolo true? So what if it's true? I'm marrying the gigolo, not his mother. Besides, I can handle the gigolo, what's more his mother. If I don't pretend to be sad, the black chicken head won't leave. TSK, marry him. I'd rather become a nun than marry him. He's like a rooster in heat. Ah, no. He's a black chicken in heat. Ha. Shadow Agent Hua saw that his young master's hair standing on its end, perfectly explaining what it meant to be in a fit of rage. This little girl's words are really too sarcastic. A rooster in heat? TSK. Don't even talk about the young master's narcissism. Even this confident young master can't take it. Shui Wuji had obviously suffered a huge blow. He had always thought that his charm was boundless. Even though he had faced challenges with Yun Chuzhou a few times, he did not think much of it. He felt that it was because she got to know debeiming first. Once she got to know him, she would definitely change her mind. Who would have thought that this stinky girl had been toying with him? She deserved to die. Yun Chujio felt her scalp go numb. She quickly took out the defensive spiritual weapon from her storage ring, but it was already too late. The furious Xue Wuji raised his hand, and Yun Chujio was imprisoned on the spot. The spiritual weapon on Yun Chujio's body had an active defensive function. It would only be activated when it encountered an attack. Xue Wuji had only imprisoned her, so those spiritual weapons were not activated. As expected of the skull that I've taken a fancy to. How cunning. You actually dare to lie to me? Black chicken head. Black chicken in heat. Little girl, you're the first person who dares to mock me like that. Very well, I will not kill you. I want to let you know what it means to live a life worse than death. At that moment, Xue Wuji no longer had his usual cheeky appearance, his eyes were scarlet red, just like an Asura from hell. Chapter 412, You are my money tree. At that moment, Yun Chujio only had one sentence in her mind, disaster comes from the mouth. Who would have thought that the black chicken's head would come back? What should she do? Yun Chujio thought about what she had said, but there was no way to clear her name. She could not say that the black chicken in heat was a positive term, right? This time, she was really courting death. Aren't you usually very talkative? Why aren't you speaking now? Xue Wuji stared at Yun Chujio fiercely. Damn it! She was really detestable. If it was not for debaiming, he would definitely strangle this stinky girl to death. Cough cough. Brother Wuji, are you really angry? Sometimes, I say bad things about the gigolo behind his back, but he doesn't get angry when he catches me. You're more open-minded than him, so you won't get angry at me, right? Yun Chujio said pitifully. Humph. Don't do this to me. Xue Wuji raised his hand and hit the back of Yun Chujio's neck. Yun Chujio fainted. Xue Wuji turned to the southwest corner and said, Anfeng, if you don't want this stupid girl to die, don't follow us. Otherwise, I'll kill her directly. Anfeng was on the verge of collapse. Xue Wuji and his companion had used their concealment talismans, so he did not notice their arrival. Moreover, he was no match for Xue Wuji at all. After Xue Wuji finished speaking, he signaled Shadow Agent Huahua. Huahua raised his hand and a thick smoke enveloped the small courtyard. When Anfeng wanted to chase after them again, Xue Wuji and his company were already long gone. Anfeng was so anxious that he was about to cry. First, he took out his sound transmission talisman and sent a message to debaiming. Then, he left Spirit Radiance Sect to search for traces of Xue Wuji. When Yun Chujio woke up, she found herself in a large cage. Through the gap of the cage, she found that it was an extremely luxurious room. The roof was inlaid with several huge luminous pearls, the floor was covered with a snow-white carpet, and the furniture was also made of expensive dark-patterned pine wood. Yun Chujio saw no one in the room. She moved her body and found that the confinement had been lifted. However, she could not use her spiritual power. Yun Chujio carefully observed the material of the cage and kicked twice, but there was no reaction at all. Stupid girl, don't waste your energy. This cage is made of ancient black iron, and it functions to confine spiritual power. If the key isn't used, not to mention you, even debaiming would not be able to open it. Xue Wuji had changed into a bright red brocade robe. He walked in barefooted. Yun Chujio did not say anything. Since she was already captured, it was useless to say anything else. It seemed that this black chicken's head only wanted to torture her, not take her life. Otherwise, he would have strangled her to death. Stupid girl, don't worry. I won't kill you. I'll torture you slowly. When you are half dead from the torture, I'll use you to find that expressionless debaiming to exchange for some spirit stones and flowers. Didn't you cheat me of a few million low-grade spirit stones? I'll ask Di Biming for 100 million high-grade spirit stones. In the future, when I'm in need of spirit stones, I'll go to Spirit Radiance sect to capture you and then find Di Biming to exchange for spirit stones. In the future, you'll be my money tree. Ha ha ha. Yun Chujio sat cross-legged on the ground, still not saying a word. Stupid girl, are you mute? Speak. If you don't speak, I'll let a snake in and bite you to death. Xue Wuji had taken off his previous disguise, revealing his ruthless and evil personality. Didn't you say that I'm a money tree? A tree naturally won't speak. Yun Chujio said lightly. Xue Wuji narrowed his eyes. It seems that I've been too kind to you in the past. You still don't know how powerful I am. Hua Hua, bring my little pets here. Chapter 413, Childish and Stupid. Shadow Agent Hua Hua dragged a huge crystal coffin and walked in. Inside the crystal coffin were 5 gold-ringed snakes with long tongues. Their sharp fangs were emitting a cold light under the reflection of the crystal. Xue Wuji smiled at Yun Chujio. Stupid girl, isn't my pet so very beautiful? Do you want to hear the truth or lies? How would you lie? And how would you be truthful? Xue Wuji threw a wind-blade rabbit into the coffin, and it was instantly eaten up by the gold-ringed snakes. If I was lying, I would say that they're beautiful. If I was telling the truth, I would say. Hee hee. These snakes are equally as showy as you. I'm just afraid that some people don't know how much of a show-off they are, dressing like a black chicken in heat. Yun Chujio pouted and said. Damn it. Since they already had a fall out with each other, he would not believe her even if she said it nicely. She might as well say whatever she wanted to say out loud. Moreover, if he was angered, she might have a chance to escape. Xue Wuji was so angry that he laughed. Good. Good. As expected of a skull that I've taken a fancy to. You have guts. Then let these gold-ringed snakes play with you. Hua Hua, open the coffin lid. Young master, these gold-ringed snakes are extremely poisonous. If Yun Chujio is bitten, she will probably die. Shadow Agent Hua Hua was a little hesitant. If he really killed Yun Chujio, Di Biming would definitely go crazy. At that time, their blood demon sect might not be able to withstand the anger of people from the Temple of Immortals. Stop talking nonsense. Put it in. At most, we can just feed her the detox pill. When Xue Wuji thought of how he had been teased by Yun Chujio repeatedly like a fool, he was almost driven mad. Shadow Agent Hua Hua grinned. Their young master was a lunatic. The detoxification pill was a grade 10 pill. What was he trying to do? Could it be that he just wanted to see Yun Chujio panic and scream? Shadow Agent Hua Hua had no choice but to open the lid of the crystal coffin. The gold-ringed snake was a tier 5 demonic beast. It had the instinct to seek benefits and avoid harm. When they saw Xue Wuji and Shadow Agent Hua Hua's spiritual power, they naturally chose Yun Chujio who was in the cage. The 5 gold-ringed snakes quickly crawled toward Yun Chujio's cage. Xue Wuji looked at Yun Chujio with a cold smile. Stupid girl, you will soon pay the price for your stupidity. Don't worry, I will not let you die from the poison. At most, they'll make you swell up like a pig. When the time comes, I will give Di Biming a surprise. Yun Chujio looked at Xue Wuji with contempt, and then she hid in a corner of the cage. Childish. Stupid. Xue Wuji was so angry that he gritted his teeth. I'll see if you're still stubborn later. At this time, the 5 gold-ringed snakes had already crawled into the cage through the gaps. One of them stuck out its tongue and chomped down in Yun Chujio's direction. Yun Chujio sneered. Although these gold-ringed snakes were at tier 5, they were just ordinary poisonous snakes in this cage. For Yun Chujio, who was a special agent in her previous life, it was a piece of cake. Yun Chujio grabbed the 7 inches of the snake and smashed its head against the bars of the cage. The cage was made of a special material. With just one hit, the gold-ringed snake was dead. At that moment, the remaining 4 snakes also crawled toward Yun Chujio. She used the gold-ringed snake as a whip and lashed it toward the other 4 snakes. Yun Chujio's lashes landed on the snake. These gold-ringed snakes suddenly lost their spiritual power and their movements were not as fast as usual. In response to their whole 7 inches of existence being lashed, they were stunned for a moment. Yun Chujio followed the same method and looked for an opportunity to kill the 4 snakes. Black Chicken Head, take these snakes to stew snake soup. Yun Chujio smiled coldly, picked up a snake and threw it toward Xue Wuji. Chapter 414, It will never be too late for little Jiu to get revenge. Xue Wuji and Shadow Agent Huahua were dumbfounded. They had imagined countless scenarios, such as Yun Chujio crying and begging for mercy, Yun Chujio fainting from fright, or Yun Chujio fainting after being bitten by a gold-ringed snake. However, who could have predicted that those gold-ringed snakes would be dead before anything happened to Yun Chujio? Was Yun Chujio's spiritual power not already restrained? Why was she still so agile? Xue Wuji dodged the 5 snakes with a flash in his eyes. Damn girl, you have some skills. However, I have many ways to deal with you. For example, I could starve you to death. Ha ha ha. Don't you love eating? I will starve you. Huahua, host a feast. Shadow Agent Huahua was speechless at his young master's childish behavior. He immediately prepared a sumptuous feast. Xue Wuji deliberately placed the table in front of the cage and began to eat slowly. Stinky little girl, are you hungry? Do you want to eat? Yun Chujio simply turned around and did not look at Xue Wuji. However, the aroma of the dishes and wine kept finding its way into her nose. She tore a strip from her clothes and made it into a simple mask so that she could not smell it. Seeing that Yun Chujio turned around and did not look at him, Xue Wuji started to eat while shouting, Tisk tsk, this red braised meat is soft and glutinous. It tastes really good. This meatball is fried until it's crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. You want more after eating one. This steamed fish is even more delicious. It's simply superb. Yun Chujio simply covered her ears. However, all kinds of delicacies flashed through her mind, braised pork, steamed fish, hot pot, steamed buns, dumplings. Yun Chujio cursed Xue Wuji in her heart a few hundred times. Damn! He was just like a gigolo. They were all bad people, using delicacies to seduce her. Yun Chujio's stomach rumbled. Oh my god, could this damned black chicken starve me the whole time? Coincidentally, that was Xue Wuji's plan. After all, she would not starve to death from not eating for 3 days. Hence, he only gave Yun Chujio some water every day and did not give her any other food. Yun Chujio's eyes were blue with hunger. She hated Xue Wuji in her heart. Black Chicken Head, just you wait. It will never be too for me, little Jiu, to get my revenge. Sooner or later, I'll get you. Yun Chujio was so hungry that she thought she saw a flatbread wrap when she looked at the bars of the cage. The woolen blanket on the ground looked like cotton candy. Just as Yun Chujio was considering whether the woolen blanket could be eaten, she heard Xue Wuji's wild laughter. Di Baiming, I didn't expect you to come so quickly. Yun Chujio, that wretched girl, has been locked in the demon-trapping cage by me. You wouldn't be able to release her without the key in my hands. Yun Chujio's heart skipped a beat. The gigolo is here. Just as he finished speaking, Xue Wuji and Di Baiming walked in, followed by Enfong and Shadow Agent Huahua. Prince Charming. This shameless black chicken is starving me to death. Quickly throw some food in for me. Yun Chujio felt that Di Baiming was akin to an angel with wings at that moment. She definitely would not seek trouble with the gigolo in the future. When Di Baiming saw Yun Chuzhou being locked in a cage and heard her words, the murderous aura on his body was so thick that it made people suffocate. Shui Wuji, do you take my words for granted? Di Baiming, I didn't hit her or kill her. I just invited her over as a guest. As long as you give me 100 million high-grade spirit stones, I will release her immediately. Shui Wuji was fearless. Besides, Yun Chuzhou was in his hands, so Di Baiming would not dare to do anything to him. Chapter 4:15, I have never been threatened by anyone. Hey, Prince Charming, stop talking nonsense with him. I'm starving to death. Yun Chuzhou saw that Di Baiming did not throw anything over for her to eat and immediately became anxious. Di Baiming saw that Yun Chuzhou was angry and in pain. He had warned her not to provoke Shui Wuji, but she refused to listen. It was one thing if you provoked him, but you actually said bad things behind his back and let him catch you doing it. The only person who dared to say that Shui Wuji was like a black chicken in heat was Yun Chuzhou. Di Baiming threw a bottle of fasting pills to Yun Chuzhou and said to Shui Wuji, do you think that I can be blackmailed? Shui Wuji laughed out loud. Di Baiming, do you mean that you don't want to save this stinky girl? Stinky girl, did you hear that? Di Baiming doesn't really like you at all. He chose 100 million high-grade spirit stones over you. You're really pitiful. Yun Chuzhou swallowed 2 fasting pills and her stomach instantly felt better. After hearing Shui Wuji's words, she pursed her lips. Chicken brain, I told you that there's something wrong with your IQ, but you still don't believe me. My Prince Charming said that he won't be threatened by others. It's not that he doesn't want to save me. You can't even understand what he's saying. You're so dense. Shui Wuji was so angry that he gritted his teeth and said, Di Baiming, I've already given you face by not killing this stinky girl. If you aren't willing to exchange spirit stones for her, I'll smack her to death right now. Anfeng's eyes were about to cramp up on him. Miss Jiu, you've already been captured, so please stop. What if Shui Wuji gets angry out of humiliation and really smacks you to death? Shui Wuji, are you planning to use little Jiu to threaten me again and again in the future? Di Baiming asked coldly. Shui Wuji's eyes flickered. Di Baiming, cut the crap. I'm asking if you agree to exchange spirit stones for this stinky girl. Di Baiming took out a voice transmission talisman, and the corners of his mouth curled up. Shui Wuji, I've thought that the 3 sects of Tianyuan continent was good enough. If you insist on provoking me, then there's no need for your blood demon sect to exist. Shui Wuji felt inexplicably uneasy. Di Baiming, what are you implying by taking out the voice transmission talisman? What are you going to do? Before I came, I arranged for a few people to visit your blood demon sect's blood demon pool. If you insist on making things difficult for little Jiu, I'll give the order to blow it up. Don't you think that would be very interesting? Shui Wuji was stunned at first before he laughed out loud. Di Baiming, do you think I'm a 3-year-old child? Whatever you say. Shui Wuji's words were interrupted by the vibrating voice transmission talisman in his storage ring. Young Master. Young Master. The people from the Temple of Immortals have captured all of our people. They said that they're going to blow up our blood demon pool. Shui Wuji's expression immediately changed. Di Baiming, how did you do that? Shui Wuji, I'm just not interested in destroying your blood demon sect, it's not that I can't. So, if you dare to touch little Jiu again in the future, I'll make the blood demon sect disappear from the Tianyuan continent. Shui Wuji's expression changed a few times. Suddenly, he smiled. Tisk, Brother Baiming, I was just making a harmless joke. I saw that little sister Jiu was feeling stifled at Spirit Radiance sect, so I brought her out to relax. I was also afraid that her spiritual power was too low and she would be in danger, so I used the demon trapping cage to protect her. No one can hurt little sister Jiu. Ha! Ha! Isn't this very funny? Without waiting for Di Biming to speak, Yun Chujio, who was in the cage, laughed. Brother Wu Ji is really too funny. Since it's a joke, then let me go. Let's drink and chat together. Chapter 4:16, I will kill you. Shui Wuji did not expect Yun Chujio to be so easy. He took out the key and opened the cage. Little sister Jiu, you're so reasonable. I'll definitely treat you well. Yun Chujio moved her limbs and suddenly waved at Shui Wuji. Several bolts of lightning flashed. I'll fucking kill you. Did I tell you to catch me? Did I tell you to get the snake to bite me? Did I tell you not to feed me? Prince Charming, help me beat him up. Shui Wuji did not dare to fight back. He was afraid that Di Biming would really blow up the blood demon pool, so he could only dodge desperately. Little sister Jiu. Little sister Jiu. Please stop. It's a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding my ass. How about I try to lock you in a cage too? And I'll try releasing a few snakes to bite you too. How about I starve you for 3 days? Yun Chujio chased after Shui Wuji and continuously struck him with lightning. Although Shui Wuji's spiritual power was much higher than Yun Chujio's, he did not dare to fight back with the presence of a great buff-like being, Di Biming. The room was only so big, so he was having a hard time being chased by Yun Chujio. Brother Biming, quickly make little sister Jiu stop. Let's talk. Let's talk. Shui Wuji shouted at the top of his voice. Di Biming saw that he was at his end's wits, so he said, Little Jiu, come here. Yun Chujio glared at Shui Wuji with hatred. Then, she walked up to Di Biming and said, Prince Charming, this black chicken is really too hateful. Not only did he lock me in a cage, he even used a snake to bite me. The most hateful thing he did was that he didn't give me any food. Anfeng's eyes twitched. Miss Jiu, you are indeed different from the rest. Shouldn't the most annoying thing for a normal person be a snake bite? What you care about the most is that he didn't give you food. Di Biming looked at Shui Wuji. Shui Wuji, what are you going to do? Shui Wuji's eyes flickered. Brother Biming, this is all a misunderstanding. Since the misunderstanding has been resolved, we are still friends. Can we release the people from the blood demon pool? Tui. Who is friends with you, black chicken? You've caused huge mental distress to me. If you don't compensate us with 100 million high-grade spirit stones today, there's no need for us to discuss any further. Yun Chujio now had a big backer, so she was very smug. Fuck. Black chicken ash asterisk low, I won't let you off today. That. Little sister Jiu is really humorous. This matter is my fault, but 100 million high-grade spirit stones is too much. How about 10,000? Shui Wuji gritted his teeth. You stinky girl, why didn't you get bitten to death by a snake? Prince Charming, actually, there's no need for that blood demon sect to exist. Just blow it up. 100,000 spirit stones. How can a 3-legged tripod be as good as 2 strong tripods? 1 million. If he goes and does nothing, isn't it a waste? Just blow it up. 10 million. Prince Charming, since Brother Wuji has admitted his mistake, our Lord is magnanimous. Let him off this time. Yun Chujio saw Di Biming wink at her and knew that Shui Wuji had reached the upper limit of his tolerance. Di Biming glanced at Shui Wuji, who was about to go crazy. Transfer the spirit stones to me and I will let them go. Shui Wuji transferred the spirit stones to Di Biming. After a while, he received the voice transmission talisman from his subordinate and squeezed out a smile. Since the matter has been settled, I will not keep you. See you again. Yun Chujio bared her little white teeth at him. Brother Wuji, I think the luminous pearl on the roof is not bad. Are you giving it to me or me? Chapter 4:17. Integrity was no longer needed. Xue Wuji squeezed out a word from between his teeth, send it. Then I want trouble, brother Wuji. I'll just dig it out myself. I usually don't trouble others when I can do things myself. Yun Chuzhou sat on the chopping board. She used a small dagger to dig out all the luminous pearls on the roof. Oh, and she left one for Xue Wuji in the end. Otherwise, she would not be able to see anything in the house. After Yun Chuzhou flew down, she looked at the carpet on the floor. She cut off a large piece with her dagger and rolled it up into her storage ring. These few pieces of furniture look good too. Brother Wuji, do you mind if I borrow them for a few days? Xue Wuji clenched his fist and loosened it. He squeezed out an answer with great difficulty, I don't mind. Thus, Yun Chuzhou kept a few pieces of furniture in her storage ring. Finally, she took a look at the demon-trapping cage. Xue Wuji's heart trembled. He quickly kept the demon-trapping cage in his storage ring. Little sister Jiu, I've refined this before. I can't give it to you. Yun Chuzhou curled her lips, I didn't say I wanted it. Talking to me as if I'm a thief. Seriously. Prince Charming, let's go. There's nothing good in this room anyway. Brother Wuji, see you later. After Yun Chuzhou and the other two left, Xue Wuji clutched his chest and howled, Hua Hua, my heart hurts. Yun Chuzhou. Di Baiming. I'm not done with you guys. My 10 million high-grade spirit stones. My illuminating pearl. My snow cashmere carpet. My furniture. Shadow Agent Hua Hua was speechless. It was all your fault, okay? Why did you have to flirt with that little girl? Now that Di Baiming had handled the situation, then only do you regret it. Hua Hua. A year ago, I was still on par with Di Baiming. How did he become so powerful all of a sudden? Young master, I'm equally as confused. Could it be that he had an opportunity or a hidden illness in the past? Xue Wuji's eyes rolled around and suddenly his eyes lit up. Recently, the only variable is that stinky girl, Yun Chuzhou. Do you think that Di Baiming's sudden strength has something to do with that girl? Young master, what you said makes sense. Shadow Agent Hua Hua thought for a while and felt that his young master was right. Why would Di Baiming take a fancy to Yun Chuzhou? There must be a reason behind it. Xue Wuji took out the skull and played with it for a while. Suddenly, he said, since it has something to do with that girl, I will reluctantly continue to get close to her. With my intelligence, I will definitely be able to find some clues. Shadow Agent Hua Hua really wanted to help Xue Wuji recall how he was tricked by Yun Chuzhou a few times. However, for the sake of his own life, he swallowed his words. Achoo! Achoo! Damn it! The black chicken must be speaking ill of me. Yun Chuzhou, who was on the flying spiritual device, sneezed twice. Di Baiming sat on the chair at the side without even lifting his eyes, as if he did not hear her words. Yun Chuzhou cursed in her heart, Gigolo. You tsundere. Why are you pretending to be cold? Are you waiting for me to apologize? Humph. I didn't do anything wrong, why should I apologize? However, when Yun Chuzhou thought of the 10 million high-grade spirit stones that Xue Wuji had just compensated, she immediately threw away her integrity. This fellow eagerly walked up to Di Baiming and said, Prince Charming, are you still angry at me? After I was caught by Xue Wuji, I thought that I was going to die. At that time, the only thing that I couldn't let go of was you, Prince Charming. Di Baiming did not say anything, but he raised his eyebrows slightly. When Yun Chuzhou saw this, she said, Prince Charming, you said that we've been through a lot, and we broke up just because of a few words. Isn't that making a big deal out of nothing? Moreover, if you had told me properly, would I not have listened to you? Am I an unreasonable person? You even pushed me down. My back still hurts from it. Chapter 418, turned back into a tsundere gigolo, and Feng, who was piloting the flying spirit tool, almost burst out laughing. Miss Jiu, you're too good at bullshitting. I saw that you were alive and kicking when you were taking the illuminating pearl. Why are you in pain now? The corner of Di Baiming's eyes twitched slightly, but he still did not speak. Yun Chuzhou saw that Di Baiming was still ignoring her. She rolled her eyes and said with a cheeky smile, Prince Charming, do you want me to kiss you so that you will forgive me? And Feng. Close your eyes and cover your ears. I'm going to kiss your highness. Nonsense. Don't read those dirty things anymore. Di Baiming could not bear to listen anymore. Yun Chuzhou made a victory sign in her heart. Little boy, no matter how arrogant you are, I can take you down. Prince Charming, I remember that a year ago, you were injured by that black chicken, right? Why is he so afraid of you now? Yun Chuzhou asked in puzzlement. Miss Jiu, firstly, our lord has the cold poison on him, and secondly, Shui Wuji is full of tricks. That's why he was ambushed by Shui Wuji. Now that our lord has gotten rid of the cold poison, he naturally doesn't worry about Shui Wuji anymore. And Feng then added in his heart. Also, our lord has become a lot more cunning in the process of fighting with you, hasn't he? Yun Chuzhou bared her little white teeth. Prince Charming, so the reason why you're so powerful is because of me. If it wasn't for my blood, how could your cold poison be removed so quickly? So, if I make any mistakes in the future, don't worry about me for the sake of the blood. The corners of Di Baiming's mouth curled into a noncommittal smile. When he went back, he had thought it through. For a person who could show off like the black thing, he had to do both. He could not let her do as she pleased, or else she would be able to ascend to heaven. Prince Charming, if you can destroy the blood demon sect, why do you still keep it? Yun Chuzhou asked in confusion. The situation in the Tianyuan continent is complicated. Maintaining the current situation is for the best. Moreover, the blood demon sect is not as simple as it looks. I said that I would destroy them just to intimidate them. If it was so simple to destroy the blood demon sect, why would I let Shui Wuji off so easily? Di Baiming explained. Ah, so that's how it is. But it doesn't matter, it'll become stronger sooner or later. When that time comes, I'll lock that black chicken in the cage and release the snakes to bite him every day while starving him to death. Yun Chuzhou said fiercely. Yun Chuzhou continued to ramble on and then came to the main topic. Prince Charming, can you transfer the spirit stones that the black chicken compensated me with to me? Di Baiming raised his eyebrows. Compensate you? Yes, that 10 million high-grade spirit stones is what that chicken compensated me for my mental damage. Yun Chuzhou had an ominous feeling in her heart. Could it be that the gigolo is going to keep it all for himself? Di Baiming looked at her deeply. If I don't save you, do you think Shui Wuji will compensate you with spirit stones? Transfer it to you. It's already good enough that I didn't ask you to hand over the illuminating pearl. Yun Chuzhou was dumbfounded. The gigolo had turned back into a tsundere gigolo again. She had only been in charge for a few days, but she was suddenly tormented because of a few storybooks. If God gave her a second chance, she would definitely not read those storybooks. Ah! Seeing that the spirit stones were not going to her, Yun Chuzhou could not be bothered to please Di Baiming anymore. She pouted, took out a quilt, and laid it on the ground to sleep. Di Baiming wanted to coax Yun Chuzhou a few times, but after thinking about it, he still did not move. He had to establish his authority in front of the black thing, or else she would definitely take advantage of him. Chapter 419, I am not greedy at all. The next morning, Di Baiming brought Yun Chuzhou to Spirit Radiance sect. The sect was in a mess because of Yun Chujia's disappearance. However, only Yun Chuzi, the other disciples, and the higher-ups of Spirit Radiance sect knew about Yun Chujia's disappearance. Master Xianyuan and the others found a half-eaten spirit fruit on the ground in Yun Chujia's courtyard. There were also the footprints of 3 other people on the ground. They immediately knew that the situation was not good. Little Jiu must have been taken away by someone. The Heavenly Gates sect was the main suspect. However, after sending people to investigate, they found that there was nothing unusual going on around them. They also sent people to investigate the Bixiao Palace and the Immortal Sword sect. However, they did not find anything unusual. Everyone was puzzled, who had taken little Jiu away. After the 3 of them activated the concealment talisman, they went straight to Yun Chujia's courtyard. "I'm going to see the sect leader. You guys can play by yourselves." Humph. Yun Chujio saw that Di Biming had no intention of coaxing her, so she started acting arrogantly too. "Okay." Di Biming agreed and entered the house. "Okay, you big head. Damn it, can't you say 2 more words? Sundra, just you wait. Sooner or later, I will make you an obedient wife-slave." Yun Chujio sat on the chopping board and walked around Yun Chusi's courtyard. Before she could say anything, she was dragged to the meeting hall by Elder Chu. "Little Jiu, where have you been these past few days? We were so worried." As soon as she entered the meeting hall, Elder Chu asked impatiently. "I was taken away by that red-clothed pervert, and then my Prince Charming saved me." "Red-clothed pervert?" "The red-clothed pervert who stole the witch hazel fruit the last time." "Yes, that's him. That bastard locked me up in a cage and even released snakes to bite me. The most infuriating thing was that he starved me for 3 days. If it wasn't for my Prince Charming, I would have died." Sob sob. "Dear sect leader, the last time I offended this red-clothed pervert was to protect the sect's property. I really gave my all for our Spirit Radiance sect." Yun Chujio decided to take what was lost. She could not get any spirit stones from the gigolo, but she could get some compensation from little Xianyuan. "Young Master D is here." "Where is he?" When Sect Master Xianyuan saw Yun Chujia's posture, he knew that this fellow was going to extort them again, so he quickly changed the topic. "He's in my dormitory. Dear Sect Master, can you give me 2 tokens? Otherwise, every time my Prince Charming and Enfone comes, I have to sneak them in." "Ah, Master Xianyuan, I've been so hungry these few days that I feel dizzy. Do you have anything good to supplement me with? If I don't, I won't even have the strength to release the fire spirit beast." Humph. Trying to change the topic. It won't work. The corner of Master Xuanyuan's eyes twitched violently. He could only say, "A few days ago, Fairy Yume of Bixiao Palace gave me 10 Bixiao fruits. I'll reward you with 3 to supplement you. There are 2 of us, Prince Charming and I. How are we going to split 3 fruits? If we don't split them evenly, we will have a fight. 4 fruits. No wait. 4 is an unlucky number. 5 fruits. Ah, but it's not easy to split 5 fruits. Then, I'll just take 6 fruits." I'm not being greedy at all, Yun Chujio pretended to count her fingers and said. Everyone wanted to kick her. There were 10 fruits in total. How is it not considered greedy if you took 6 fruits? Would it only be considered so if you took all 10 of them? Yun Chujio was afraid of arousing public anger, so she quickly changed the topic. Sect leader, have you arranged the accommodation for the fire spirit beast? The heat generated by the earth fire cannot be underestimated. The location is very important. Chapter 420, Sprinkling Dog Food. When everyone heard Yun Chujia's words, they all frowned. Back then, Heavenly Gates sect only had 1 fire spirit beast, so it was easier to handle. If these 9 fire spirit beasts were together, would the sect not become a fire cave? If that was the case, then Spirit Radiance sect would not be habitable. Master Xuanyuan's heart moved. Little Jiu, since you have a way to extinguish the earth fire from Heavenly Gate sect, perhaps you can also extinguish a portion of our earth fire too, right? He, Master Xuanyuan is so smart. He actually thought of a solution in such a short time. I am truly impressed. The corners of Master Xuanyuan's eyes twitched. Was she kicking him down then giving him a bandage? When the time comes, he'll get the fire spirit beast to control the scale of the earth fire so that it won't be too hot. In addition, plant some medicinal herbs in the outer area that can absorb the heat of the earth fire. This way, we can have an additional share of the income from the herbs. There's no need to share the income from the medicinal herbs with me. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Everyone nodded. Yun Chuzhou was finally generous this time. Elder Qi secretly pursed his lips. She did not want the income of the medicinal herbs, but the medicinal herbs she gathered in his spirit herb garden were worth much more than that. Little Jiu, last time I said that I would hold a banquet to entertain young Master D. After that, he had something to do and left. Tonight, I will hold a banquet to entertain young Master D. You must invite him to attend. No problem, I'll definitely bring him over for you. Make more delicious food. The roast chicken last time was very good, and the plum blossom cake and golden crispy noodle snacks were also quite delicious. Oh right, that braised pork was too sweet last time. This time, use less sugar. Master Xuanyuan rubbed his forehead. Can I add, Yun Chuzhou, you don't have to come tonight. Yun Chuzhou hopped back to the dormitory and told Di Biming about Master Xuanyuan's invitation. Di Biming agreed without hesitation. It was a good opportunity to deepen everyone's impression that the black thing belonged to him, so that no one would have any devious ideas. In the evening, Yun Chuzhou and Di Biming rushed to the banquet hall. Under the setting sun, Di Biming, who was dressed in white and flying on a sword, instantly became the focus of the crowd. Oh my god, it's young Master D. He's coming to Spirit Radiance sect again. Young Master D is so charming. I feel like my heart is about to burst. Ah, if I knew young Master D would come today, I would have worn my pink outfit. I'll go back and change now. Is that Yun Chuzhou next to him? How despicable. She always clings to young Master D. Who else is sitting on the chopping board flying apart from her? How shameless. She accepted our gifts for him last time. I wonder if she handed them over to Master D. Di Biming and Yun Chuzhou entered the banquet hall. Master Xuanyuan and the others had already arrived. After everyone exchanged a few pleasantries, the banquet began. Yun Chuzhou buried her head in food and was focused on eating. Di Biming carefully helped to peel the prawns and pick out the fish bones. In the eyes of Master Xuanyuan and the others, not only did this Master D have a high level of spiritual power, he was also deeply in love with Little Jiu and was also very meticulous. In short, Little Jiu was really lucky. After the banquet ended, and after bidding farewell to everyone, Yun Chuzhou burped and said, Prince Charming, I'm a little full from eating. Let's walk back. She was thinking in her heart, these lurkers are all staring at my Prince Charming. I want to let you all know that the gigolo is mine, and you all are fucking hopeless. Di Biming's eyes flickered. He thought that this was a good opportunity to show off and make those who had bad intentions toward Little Jiu stop. Thus, the two of them kept throwing out dog food on the road. They tortured countless single dogs to death. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.